We're here today to talk about how you can overcome public speaking anxiety instantly. Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins, and by the end of this video, you'll know what causes the anxiety and have 3 practical steps that you can apply to overcome it. I've been a professional speaker for almost 3 decades now, and I'm also a past president of the National Speakers Association Mountain West chapter. I've talked to a lot of people who are enthusiastic about speaking. And you have an interest in speaking as well. Well, that's interesting because that's one of the top fears that's listed on most of the lists that we create about what people are afraid of. In fact, on many lists, it comes in higher than death. Jerry Seinfeld picked up on this. He said, at a funeral, that means the person giving the eulogy would really rather be in the box. But what I've found is it's not public speaking that people fear. It's speaking poorly that people fear. Think about it. If you knew that you're going to just rock it out there on the stage, on the mic, you'd be excited, not fearful. Excitement and fear are really very similar from a physiological standpoint. The difference is psychological. It's in what we think that causes us to feel anxiety versus excitement. One of my colleagues, Dr. John Skidmore, works with professionals and performers on performance anxiety. And he helps them to see that instead of thinking of this as fear or anxiety, what if you were to think of it as activation? Your brain is activating your body for high performance. When you think about it that way, it feels different. Now, there's another aspect of this that a lot of people don't know about. Our focus matters. I've developed a model called the Influence Quadrant. Just visit the link that's shown on the screen right now, drpauljenkins.com/influence, and I'll send you a copy of this model. What this model describes is 2 dimensions of focus. So think about where your focus is. And there are 2 options. Either I'm focused on how I feel, or I'm focused on how you feel. So that's the first dimension. How I feel, how you feel. Now the other dimension is not about feelings, it's about content. Is this about me, or is this about you? When we overlay those 2 dimensions, we get a quadrant system. That's what you'll see when you pick up the model. And without going into all the detail about the intricacies of the model, just notice this for a minute. Anytime it's about me, I feel anxiety. Think about that as it relates to public speaking. Where's your focus? Is your focus on yourself, or is it on the people that you are serving? This is the same with the feelings dimension that I mentioned earlier. If my focus is on how I feel, it's going to create a very different emotional experience than if my focus is on how my audience feels. So let's look at the 4 quadrants really quickly. If my focus is on how I feel about me, I'm going to experience self-consciousness. Now, I'm not talking about the healthy self-awareness or mindfulness that you hear about all the time. I'm talking about that anxious, am I good enough? Have I prepared enough? Do I know what I'm doing? Anxiety. Similarly, if my focus is on how you feel about me, do you think I'm good enough? Do you think I've got this? Do you think I know what I'm talking about? I'm going to experience insecurity. Welcome back to junior high, when you're worried about what everybody else thinks about you and how you're going to fit in. Either way, if it's about me, I feel anxiety. Now, the next possibility is that my focus is on how I feel about you. Do I like you? Do I approve of you? Do I think that you know what you're doing? Now, that's going to seem critical to you. Now, there's one other option, and that's when my focus is on how you feel about you, how you feel about yourself. Look, as a public speaker, if you can shift your focus so that it's not about you and how you feel is only secondary. When your focus is on how your audience feels about themselves, that's when you get into that, I call it the influence quadrant. And that puts you in a powerful position to not only be free from the anxiety, but also to be in a position where you can influence and affect the lives of the people that you serve. Now, before I share those 3 practical tips with you, I want you to just take a minute and click that subscribe button, because then you'll be in the loop for all of the videos that are going to help you to really refine your skills. So step 1 to immediately overcome that anxiety, breathe. I know, you breathe all the time, but what I want you to do is very intentionally focus on your breathing. Slow it down. Watch your breath. This is a proven practice that helps us to calm the mind and settle the anxiety. It has to do with the physiology of your brain and the natural fight or flight response that's wired in. Find a breathing exercise that you like. There's a lot of apps out there. A really simple one is in through the nose, fill up your lungs nice and full, hold for just a few seconds, and then out through the mouth, nice and slow. Restrict the flow, purse your lips, and do it nice and slow. This triggers a relaxation response in your brain. If you'll do 3 to 5 reps of in through the nose, hold, out through the mouth slowly, it will reboot your brain in a way that allows you to calm down and feel less anxiety. Important first step. Step number 2, practice. Practice, practice, practice. Remember, people don't fear public speaking. They fear speaking poorly. And the more you prepare, the less reason you have to fear. Don't cut yourself short on this. In fact, I would encourage you, as you prepare to give a public talk or presentation, record yourself. Watch the recording. This is a painful exercise, but it helps you to see the little subtleties and pick up on things that you can practice and improve. Go through the reps. When you put in the work to practice, you'll feel less anxiety. And the 3rd step I already prepped you for. It is to intentionally practice shifting your focus so that your focus is on how your audience feels about themselves. It's not about you, and how you feel is only secondary. Your focus shifts to how your audience feels about themselves. Remember, you can get a copy of the Influence Quadrant that refers to that particular focus. drpauljenkins.com/influence. I'll put it right in your inbox.